Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are heading somewhere down there. We're on Scotland's southernmost tip, and we're here to catch some pollock and maybe a wrasse or two. Going to a mark that I haven't fished for about 15 years, so I'm quite excited to see if it's changed at all. We're going to walk along to the point, scramble down the cliff and get set up on a wee ledge just next to a cave. Going down there. It's down that way. It's almost like coming to a new mark. I haven't been here for so long. Can't necessarily remember how to get down. We've got a huge amount of current here. I think there's about seven tides meet at this point. At the minute you can see tide pushing that buoy coming this way. The tide's coming in, so it's going that way. So we've got a big circular outgoing tide here meeting the incoming tide and creating this big massive confused water. This thing's like a monster rapid with huge standing waves. It's so strong with all the water going in the same direction. You can actually feel the ground shaking. You definitely wouldn't want to fall in there. You'd be away over to Ireland in no time, or at least the Isle of Man, which is over that way. Oh, some kind souls put a rope there. Oh, they've got a lot of effort. Feels like an age since I've been on the rocks like this, especially since I've bought the boat. It's not the most comfortable of marks in terms of space to fish. There's not much back casting room, so because of that I've brought an 8'3" rod rather than a longer 9 foot or 9.5 foot. We're pretty much going to stand on this little point that someone's stuck a load of concrete in and a rod holder. It has changed a wee bit. This is what I mean about not very much back casting room. Why a short rod is it's pretty useful here. Well, it's pretty windy and we're due some up to 30 mph gusts, and it's kind of coming across me, so I'm starting off reasonably heavy. I'm going to use a 30-gram cheb with a 2.0 Van Fook wormer hook, and today we're going to almost cheat, potentially, using some Berkeley Gulp. I think these are pretty new and they're impregnated with smelly bait scent, which apparently catches you 30% more fish. Now if that's the case, we're in for quite a good session. Oh, it reeks. Just gonna rig that on Texas style. Well, cheb style really. Oh, it smells like bad scampi fries. Oh. Stick that on my lure clip. Let's get fishing. Well, it's really handy, this spot. Used to have the balance on here. Can't feel bottom because, just because of the wind. If I go heavier, then I should be able to. I think the tide is going that way as well, the current. So it's bringing my lure closer to us. I like fishing against the tide rather than into it. Oh, we're onto our first fish there. It's come off. Oh, go on. Just grab it. The original hook hole is there. And somehow it's managed to pull the lure down and re-spike it. Oh, that's weird. 2 fish hooked, or bit my lure on the first cast. Now this is my 3rd cast and no more fish. I'll cast into the tide now and you can really feel the difference on the lure. There's a much more pronounced bend in the rod as I'm retrieving. To start off with, I'm just casting out, letting my lure hit the deck, giving it a lift, and then just a straight retrieve with some pauses every 2 or 3 minutes, or 20-30 winds. It's quite fast. I'm just seeing if the fish are active, and if I don't get much by doing this, then I'll go to a slower lift and draw. I did. Let's fish go. Finally found one. Fifth cast. Oop. And hit that lure on the straight retrieve. Don't know if it's a scent or whether it's just a lure, but 5th cast isn't bad. Oh. Something's had a good go at it. Still fresh, it's bleeding. Let's get it back. Not massive, but it's a start. The other good thing about using a reasonably heavy weight, aside from the increasing the sensitivity in the water, is it means I don't have to have such a long back cast. The extra weight loads the rod up without much sort of energy from me, and without having to wind into it as much or too much. Well, 10 casts in and there's still a scent on that lure. I thought it would have just been the liquid that it's sitting in, but I'm guessing the material is full of it as well. This fish hit it on the drop. Oh, where do you find that structure? Go on, out you get. Hit it miles out. Finding every piece of rock and Big piece of wheat. If I was on the east coast, I would have said this is a codlin. But I'm not, I'm on the west coast. And no wonder it felt like a codlin fighting, because it's a wrasse. Wow, wrasse hit it on the drop. There we go. Love catching these things. Well, that's 2 species now. I've only been here 20 minutes, so I'm quite happy with that. It's ruined my lure though. Absolutely just ripped it in half, so I'm gonna take that back and then super glue it so I can reuse it and then put a fresh one on. Oh, there's the bottom. Well, tackle, I've already talked about the rod. It's 8'3", 15 to 50 grams. It's quite a heavy casting rod, but it handles its lower weight, casting weight really well. Plus, in this wind and current, there's not really much of a chance of casting under 15 grams, so fishing effectively with it. I've got 12-pound braid on, which is 0.6 PE and 0.12 diameter, I believe, which is really narrow, and a 19-pound fluorocarbon leader, and all that's on a 2,500 size Daiwa BG mag sealed. Combination of line and leader gives us a really good opportunity to fish quite effectively when there's a lot of current, because there's a lower diameter in the line, so the wind doesn't affect it as much and neither does the current. You will lose more lures, but in reality, if you get snagged with heavy kit on, you just spend ages trying to pull out. And it's really rare that we're going to catch anything over 10 pounds. So yeah, I feel like I don't necessarily need stupidly heavy tackle. Don't know if you can see this, but that wee bird there, he's chasing a load of little sprats and sand eels around. He's herding them up by himself. That looks brilliant. Let him go. It's like a proper bait ball. They're jumping out of the water. No way. I was held in a snag and I just pulled out of it. Oh, it's a coley. Oh, it's a chunky coley, that. Pulled out the snag and this coley came and smashed me lure. Oh, they're good looking fish these, but they don't half smell. Fight well though. But cast out of the current into an area where I know there's a load of boulders. It's not very deep. Years ago I couldn't really fish it that effectively. I didn't have the experience or the knowledge to do it. So just gave it a try and immediately get a little pollock. So you're sitting out of the current. Oh. Let's cast back into it. Let's see if we can winkle out a bigger one. God, it's like a 6 seconds drop. Well, at the minute, I know we've had 3 species, 5 fish in an hour, which isn't too bad. But I'm struggling to find any real pattern in it. If I had a wrasse and a coley from that way, pollock from that way, and a pollock from that way, all hour, as they say. One place I haven't tried is in the cave, or at least near it. Well, I get the feeling with this increase in southerly and rising tide that might not have much longer on here. But that's why I've probably getting more responsible in my old age, but got some good safety equipment with us. Oh, go on. Which, I've got my mobile obviously, but you cannot rely on those. There's no signal here, and if you end up in the water you can barely use them because the water knocks the touchscreen, and you've got an inflatable life vest, basically a PFD, which is a spin lock alto. And then I've also, which I actually bought for my boat, which is perfect for this sort of thing, a PLB, or a personal locator beacon. All I need to do with that, if I end up in the water, is pull the aerial out and push the button, and it sends a distress signal with my coordinates within 10 meters, I think, to the satellites, who then intercept the message and dish it out to the relevant rescue authorities, which means I don't actually have to use my phone. So I can float and communicate now with this little package, which weighs about 600 grams, I think, so not very heavy, compact, easy to carry around. I swam towards us, like a slackline bite. I think this might be a mackerel. I don't know, little pollock. Oh, best get another lure on. Crazy Legs jerk shad in pink shine. I rarely use curly tails. I use paddle tails a lot more, but I have had success in the past with them. This has got a double curly tail like that. Stop touching it, Nathan, you're getting stinking. It's quite an unusual material for a lure. It feels almost like quite spongy, porous, which is, I'm guessing, how they get the scent to stay in there for so long. So I cast in to all the jumble of rocks. I got snagged up. Unfortunately the camera wasn't running. I got snagged up and I thought I was just doing that. I thought, oh, I got out the snag, and all of a sudden my rod just nearly got pulled out of my hands. So good fish just took it, and then it's just been, yeah, in and out of the snags, in and out of the snags. And this time I feel like it may have transferred me into the snag. Oh, that was a better fish, that. You see that pull? Leader on a sharp rock. Oh, I'm going to retie and go and catch that thing. Right. This is going to be a bit risky in terms of tackle loss because, well, it's snaggy out there, and this isn't a weedless lure. It's not very deep, so it might not come back, or I might lose it pretty quickly. Oh, first cast. Feels about the same size as the lure. And normally I like using small, oh, it's come off. Small lures for pollock, but this one's 150 mil, 140 mil, sorry. So it's quite big. I'm loving the pink. Definitely not putting the small fish off. Oh, that's right at my feet. Well, that's the biggest of the day. And it took, like, literally, as I said, right at my feet. Got my camera set up in a really weird place. There we go. Whoop. And he's away. I don't know when they do that, when they smash right at your feet. You've got loads of life left in them, just dive straight down. The rod end just going wow. Come on, big fish. I know you're lurking around in there. Oh, it's done it again. That must be a seal. You see that pull? Then just snip off. I haven't seen one surface though. Took my leader as well that time. Well, there's not much time left down here. Not much time left for us to catch whatever is eating my lures and snapping us off. I've gone for the pollock coloured mad eel this time rather than the pink one. Oh, the weather and the swell's really picking up now, like. Yeah, shouldn't be down here for much longer. I got a current ripping past there. No, you're not it. Yep, pollock, don't mind pollock covered. pollock coloured lures. I'm committed to this. Like I need to know what it is that's been taking my lures. But time's definitely running out. Wow, there's a massive seal. That's the first time I've seen it. I wonder if that's been it. It hasn't been popping up. I've not seen it, heard it, or anything, but it just followed my lure up there. I got waterproof shoes on, but they're only waterproof up to my ankles. And now the waterproof shoes hold the water in. Oh no, look at that. Well, I was going to do my outro outside, but it's blowing an absolute gale. Sorry, I've just necked the sandwich as well. Yeah, the car's shaking. It's that windy. This 40-mile-an-hour wind wasn't meant until later on, but it's 4:30 now, so it's a few hours early. But anyway, not a bad little session. I think, what's that, 4:30? So yeah, 2.5, 3 hour session. 6 fish. Got annihilated by something. It must have been the seal, but I still don't understand how it snapped my braid when my drag was set perfectly. And yeah, snapped the leader. But I'm guessing must have had a fish on it. I don't know. Weird, but yeah. Those Berkeley lures seem pretty good. I don't know how good the scent is, but either way they caught fish straight away, and 3 different species as well, which is good. And the scent, that Scampi Fry scent, seemed to last for ages. Yeah, I've got no idea if a scent works in the water, and you could argue, is it cheating? If you're lure fishing, then why use something with a scent on? Well, every lure's got a scent of some sort, just not necessarily Scampi Fry flavour. But the action of the lure and the profile and even the colour seem to work really well, so I'll be using more of those, I think. But anyway, enough yabbering. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, that would be great. And as always, until the next one, tight lines.